In a world where hopium and common sense collide, starring the CryptoKeeper and BlockchainCrusader. Welcome to Debate Crypto.
Question everything, trust nothing. It's your boy BlockchainCrusader here at Debate Crypto, and tonight we got Magic Internet Money and the one and only Bill Noble. What's going on, guys? How you guys doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having us.
Always fantastic. We appreciate it.
All right, guys. So you guys already know it's TA Thursday, aka around the charts. We're gonna be going over Bitcoin. We're gonna be going over Ethereum, and we're gonna be going over the guests' personal one altcoin of their choice to see where they think that altcoin is going. Get you guys some alpha information, how the younglings are saying nowadays. So I hope everyone has a good night. Everybody smash the like, share out the live, go follow these guys if you're not following them yet. Their links are down below. These guys come here every Thursday to bring you hard work, show you technical analysis, not just how to trade, but what kind of things are happening in the charts every day. So these guys are working very hard. Show them some support, show them some love. And all right, guys, so let's get started. Right, Bitcoin the other day kind of took a bit of a dump right under 20,000 again, and then supposedly the US dollar was having a little bit of a pump at that time. Now the dollar has seemed to come down a little bit, and Bitcoin is responding in the opposite version, right? Having a little bit of a climb back up. What do you guys are seeing in Bitcoin? Do you guys think right now, you guys could agree or disagree? Do you guys think Bitcoin is in a moment of, we're going up, or we're more likely to keep going down at the current time? What are you guys' thoughts? Either of you can go first.
All right,
you don't have to show me any chart. Just what do you guys think right now?
Okay, I think everybody just gave up on Bitcoin. I think when we saw people, I'm like looking at this thing, I was like, wow, they're selling this at an 18 handle. So I don't know, maybe there's a problem with Bitcoin, or maybe everyone just thinks there's a problem with Bitcoin and gave up. I mean, it feels like an old-fashioned give-up trade. It looks like one too. Yeah. So, that's my first pass on Bitcoin.
Yeah, I mean, there is the whole rumor now. They're putting it up to debate, I think, for legislation about trying to ban proof of work. I think that's all a big FUD story. I don't think they're going to let that happen, right? But it does influence markets, right? People get nervous about these kind of things. We have been seeing a massive pump for Ethereum up to the merge, but could we see people freak out before the merge and start dumping Ethereum as well, right? Because they don't know if the merge is gonna happen or not happen. What are your thoughts, Magic? Up, down, sideways? What's going on?
There's a chance for both, obviously, every time. Right now, about 19.1 is a pretty key level. Coming into this dump, though, this is something we've discussed before. We've talked about how this low was made on the weekend. CME was not trading when Bitcoin made that June 18th low, and that it's considered, from a technical perspective, a poor low. So the odds of it actually being challenged or even taken are higher than they are not, and it's significantly higher, like 80%. So we were expecting this move, and this is something that if Bitcoin spends a good amount of time down here, in my opinion, not a good amount, but enough to scare people, kind of, everybody gives up on crypto, as Bill was saying, get some fear in the market, get people selling into larger hands, then yeah, there's a chance that this thing can reclaim the range and make a move. And one of the worst things that happens to people is they get left out of a move. Everyone thinks that forced liquidations is the worst thing that happens in crypto, but take it from the 2020 cycle. It was my second one. And the amount of people I saw sitting on the sidelines, even as Bitcoin broke into new all-time highs, in absolute disbelief and just saying, no, it's a fake rally, it's coming back. And a lot of people get stuck in that. Same thing happens at tops, of course, where people are like, no, we're still good. It'll come back. It never does, right? And they get caught holding the bag. Well, the opposite happens at the bottom. They never buy in. They're scared to, or whatever it may be. So to me, I'm pretty neutral right now. I did buy Bitcoin. I will say that I picked up another position for my long-term position, and it was at 18,625. It was a reclaim of a previous day low coming into a prior month low. So for me, it was just another area that I was like, okay, if it comes down here, this is a good value. I'm not all in the market, but I am buying that position with the intention of holding it for some time potentially. And if it goes lower, I haven't put myself in jeopardy to be, shit out of luck, I guess you should say, for lack of a better term. You have to kind of like divvy up your money a little bit and use a little common sense. But I think it's still opportunistic until it's not. One thing the issue is the Fed. What are they going to do? We don't really know. We can only take advantage of opportunities that we're given. Is how I look at it. And you have to be okay with those results, whichever way they go. You know, that's
100%.
part of it.
So another question here, you guys can go into this question by showing your charts if you want to. So some people are saying that Bitcoin, right, not going to be making new all-time highs or making any real massive moves until even 2024. So 2023 is going to be kind of a sideways, maybe a little bit up, a little bit down. What are your guys' thoughts? How long are we dragging out here in this in these low levels, right? Are we close to a bottom, or are we just going to be dragging out at these like 20s, maybe even 30s at best for the next year and a half? Or do you guys think we can see a way higher move before then? And what would that time frame kind of look like? And just you can explain that with your charts, or you can just show me what you guys are thinking currently is happening.
All right, I'll jump in.
All right.
So, all right. Everybody is out there going, oh my God, the Fed. Oh my God, the dollar, right? And everybody is also saying that this cycle or this winter-ish is going to look just like the last one. When has that ever happened in markets where everything, the exact same thing that happened last time happens this time? Okay, so what happened last crypto winter? Well, it went down, you sat there and you had to do poker on your crypto live stream. What's going to happen this time? Okay, well, how about earth-shattering, teeth-shattering volatility, right? How about exactly the opposite? So let me show you just something in ETH. Okay. So here's ETH, right? And let's say the market is like in a range. Let's say it's in a giant range, like literally. Like what kind of range? Well, I don't know. How about 1,500 to 3,500? You're like 3,500, Bill, that's crazy. Well, is it? So on the bottom left, you have an accumulation cone from the journal of a guy who traded stocks in the 1920s. His name was Jesse Livermore, right? He's from the book, The Reminiscence of a Stock Operator, which is a fictional book about his trading exploits. So the way this guy drew it up, he said, all right, things consolidate in an upward sloping cone, and then they go parabolic. Okay. Now, right now, everyone's given up on Bitcoin. So let me put it to you simply. The supply of the number 2 cryptocurrency in the entire world is going to shrink dramatically. So if Vitalik pulls off the merge, right, walks out onto his balcony and gives you a fist pump, where's this going? Straight up. And everybody is negative at 1,500 and they'll be positive at 3,500, only to see it turn around and go back down. Now, if there is a problem with Bitcoin, and I'll stop sharing there, if there is a problem with Bitcoin, it could be just that it can't keep up with ETH on the upside. Okay. But the new winter, it's more like a hurricane where you're in this boat and you're like, oh my God, somebody give me some Dramamine. So it could be up September, and then it could be turning around and reversing on November. On the legacy stuff, everybody's too worried about now. Try saying that 3 times fast.
Yeah, so great point, right? Two things I want to say about that is I do hope you're right. I do hope he pulls off the merge, right? And I hope he doesn't have any resistance. As you could see, the last picture he posted that went viral, there was a bit of resistance there from going up. And hopefully the merge doesn't have that type of resistance. It can freely move upward. But another point was November. So do you guys think that this election cycle, right? We're going into an election now here pretty soon. Are we going to have the traditional kind of like things are really shaky the whole way up until the election, and then after the election is decided, boom, we skyrocket, right? Markets get a massive relief, or are things a little bit different this time?
I mean, to me, it's a little different when the Fed is being as aggressive as they are, and they're saying that they're going to stay the course. But I think it was Gareth that said it, and he was like, let's see how steady they are on that course when unemployment hits certain levels and markets are falling in that scenario, right? oftentimes the tune changes very quickly, and they don't ever really hit their actual targets. They just get a little bit closer, and then they pivot. So is it different? I mean, this has been by all means kind of a different bear market if you look at the structure of things, but in terms of time and the price amount that's gone down percentage wise, it's not any different. So to me, I'm looking at this fairly opportunistically. I think that Q4 is going to be very telling. I think the month of September is going to be very telling. And one thing that you touched on is incoming volatility using the ETH chart, which I find very interesting because I chart very long fib time cycles on Bitcoin. I don't do it on ETH, but I do it on Bitcoin. And I posted it on Twitter. I posted it probably several times in the last year. But there is just an absolute volatile move coming for Bitcoin. I'll share my chart and show you what I'm talking about. But it is coming, and it's coming probably sometime this quarter, in my opinion. This is the BLX, very, very simple chart. You've got your two ranges here, so you can kind of disregard these levels. To me, these are kind of arbitrary. They're just on the chart. They were in the folder. This is a macro cycle for Bitcoin. It's called the bottom, called our 25% pump. Our macro breakout right here, the 0.5, and now we're starting to make longer ranges here at the 414, your 50%. Now you're into your golden pocket window here, and you can see that you've got volatility or volume in this case, just coming down and coming down and coming down, coming into these pivot points in time, which October 9th is a big one. I believe November 7th is a big week for Bitcoin. And then, they just kind of go into Q1 after that. But this eventually will break. Unfortunately, all of these volume spikes that you see that come up to this line are bottoms almost, except for this one. It's, this is a bottom too. So it does suggest if they follows the rhyme, it could be a very large washout. But there is volatility coming. And, I think people really should be somewhat prepared and have a plan for both ways. I don't think it has to be any different than it has been before. I think there's a lot of fear mongering going on right now, but at the same time, we have really skirted by a lot in some markets, like housing.
So how do you see this month of September playing out?
Well, for me right now, I'm still holding my short from higher. I haven't closed that. So I'm kind of indifferent. I'm neutral. I'm not afraid to say I don't know how it's going to turn out. You're not supposed to know everything, and you're not going to. So for me, if it regains 19,580 and it's living above that level, I think we have a significant chance of pushing back to somewhere around 21,600. However, if we start breaking down and losing 19,100 as of right now and turning that into resistance, the idea that we won't break our low to me seems very, very low, for lack of a better term. Like the percentages are high that will probably make new lows. And what's below there's a lot of people saying, hey, 16K is going to catch us, things like that. I'm not really too confident that that's going to happen. I think we're at that point now where if that happens and you get an expansion, you could see those 13 and 12K numbers.
Oh, so
and
I
don't
think
think
16K is not even going to hold. 16K is just
not if we break down from. I'm open to being wrong. Like I'm totally okay with that. You play the swing failure pattern, the failed auction, whatever you call it. But I think if we break down from the current range we're in, it was a really good example. I guess those ranges aren't too arbitrary now that we're on there. But you can see there's not much between here and here. These are the major ranges that it's set up. So you're kind of in the middle of no man's land right now. It doesn't mean that you can't find support here. But if we break down from this range, to me, the most logical area is 13,880 first as the next target. So I would think it would go through 16 and 15K potentially. I think there's a lot of people looking for 10 and 12K, so those are obvious targets. But this is the very first one I would be interested in at that point.
So another question, right? You've talked about these ranges a lot. When you break into this range at 13K, what is the likelihood that you just jump in, like you said, to 12, 10K, and then jump right back out of the range and not cycle the entire range down? Like, how do you determine that?
The point of control of that range actually does come in about $9,200 to $9,500, depending on what exchange you're looking at. So there is significant support there. Your 1-to-1 of the move is there. There's, I think, a log scale, or I can't remember if it's log or linear golden pocket that comes in there. I mean, there's just a lot that comes in at that level. And there's some untapped high time frame averages that come in there that are like 6-month averages, which just beneath a year. So for me, those are pretty weighty.
Okay.
But again, you can't trade for that right now. I mean, I kind of am because I'm holding shorts from higher, but those are hedges. I'm also trading for upside. I'm trying to kind of hedge both ways. I mean, at the point in the market, I think we are where you have to start thinking about hedging the opposite way. If the recipe is there, you don't want to just be blindly buying, of course, but given a good setup, why wouldn't you take it? This is getting all of the chance right now to push lower. And if bears don't capitalize on it, it could turn into a failure and things could start to move back to the upside. And that can catch a lot of people off guard, because then you'll start seeing people saying things like, oh, well, we're going to short 20,700. It'll be fine. Might get a reaction. Then it breaks through and it's 21,600. And they just keep moving the bar until, they basically miss an entire double bottom at that point, if that happens. I've seen that numerous times. People are unable to pivot. So I think being malleable right now in the market is going to be best. I just don't think that you can really marry either side of it. They'll say the trend is your friend till the end, and they're trying to keep that trend going. And if they can't produce a new trending move to the downside, we have to look for upside. Does that mean that we're going back to all-time highs? Not necessarily, but it does mean that the rally can be fairly significant. To Bill's point, where he's saying 3,500 on Ethereum, remember the rally to 14K? I mean, that was an insane rally. It 3-4x in just a couple months.
Oh yeah.
It was a very quick rally, and people got extremely excited. I remember people were already calling for $100,000 Bitcoin. The bull market's back on. I think there'll be less of that just because people have seen this, but I mean, the rally can go high. The rallies, it could go $38,000 before turning around. Like things like that happen all the time in cryptocurrency, and it would probably hurt a lot of people that were left sitting out, and they would FOMO back in potentially at the highs. We talked about that in a prior episode. So, yeah, like I said, I'm just trying to be flexible with it and make sure that if I am taking a position, it's got the best risk available to me. Same for the guys in my group. We're not trying to get hung out to dry, so to speak, I guess. But you also don't want to miss out. That's part of it.
Exactly, 100%, dude. I want to remind everybody, guys, smash the likes if you haven't smashed the likes just yet. Share out the live and go follow these guys if you have not followed them yet. Their links are down below. Also, if you haven't joined Danger Close Alpha Discord, I don't know what you guys are waiting for. Join the Discord, get prepared, get ready. Massive things are coming for the Danger Close Alpha community. We just dropped a big kind of information bomb in the Discord today, so people are getting excited about that. If you guys want to find out, jump in there. So, Bill, how do you see September playing out? So we saw Magic's how he sees it. How do you see it?
Okay, so for September, I see it basically higher and more vertical than anyone expects. So I want to bring up total 2. So this is total 2 is total crypto market cap without Bitcoin. Right. And it's pretty simple. It's 1, 2, right? That's how a trend starts. 3 is very slow, right? But it all goes one direction. 4 is deep and scary. And 5 is emotional and vertical. Now, what would make Bitcoin or Ethereum or crypto get emotional and vertical on the upside in the near term? And let me tell you what it is. Everybody's talking about the dollar, rightly so. Everyone's talking about the Fed, rightly so. But you know what everyone's forgotten about? The Bitcoin white paper, faith in Vitalik, and the creation of Ethereum and why it was created. Everyone seems to have forgotten why we're all here, why we're in crypto, right? Because we wanted something different, something unique, something to make us free. And at the moment where the supply of the currency of culture is about to decline, everyone's given up on Bitcoin. And no one seems everyone's like, oh my God, I bought it at 1,600 and it's at 1,500. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay, let's remember why we're here. And if everybody remembers that all at once, you can have this it only took ETH 20 days. 3,500 to 1,700, about 20 days. 1,700 to 800, about 20 days. Yeah, there's consolidation in between, but the trends, when it moves, it goes Jesse Livermore. Now, can Bitcoin do the same thing? I don't know. But what happens, we all know what can happen when Big Boy wakes up. Now, if we go out to November, just a word or two on that, that may be the opposite scenario. That could be scary, right? I just put a tweet out about all the offensives that the city of Chicago will no longer require collecting bail on. It's scary. Sounds like The Purge, right? The potential for social disorder and weird things to happen in November They could happen to risk assets. They could happen to Bitcoin. So the net is make money on the long side while you can. If the risk reward's there, if Magic Internet Money and his tactical guys are showing, go green, go with it, right? When it comes to November, I have a feeling November will be scary. I don't know where the bottom is, but when you're going to walk in the door on January 1 of next year, don't quote me on it, but people may once again go, you know what? The Fed can't tighten anymore because Europe is in a depression. Like, how does the Fed stop the rising price of natural gas because of a war and a supply issue? The tightening is going to backfire. And then people are going to go, oh, inflation's still here. And wow, I want to do crypto. And if that happens in January, I don't know. That's where you could get this 1,500, 3,500 back to 1,500. Maybe you get new lows in Bitcoin. I don't know. But be advised of two things. One, at the lows, think about the case for crypto. At the top, watch out for the FOMO and the black swan, right? Social disorder, election, whatever. Okay. So when everyone's thinking macro, think crypto. When everyone's thinking crypto, think macro.
Yeah, dude, that's a great point, right? The Fed has already come out talking about they're getting rid of their whole soft landing approach and they're just going all out for it. Makes people nervous, but at the same time, we've seen what they're doing, right? That they passed the whole Inflation Reduction Act, which just does printing more money. So there's only so much they can do in tightening. Like you said, macroeconomics in other parts of the world, right? They can't squeeze everyone to death by just continuously raising interest rates. They're going to have to back off at some point, and then they're going to have to once again overcorrect back the opposite way, because it's always one way or the other, right? Just kind of like the overall sentiment indicator for crypto is either you're extremely greedy or it's extremely bearish. There's not really ever much of a neutral stance on things. And the other point was Ethereum, right? The triple halvening, as they're calling it, with the merge. If the merge is successful, is definitely going to squeeze the supply of Ethereum, and people are going to start noticing that. And if it does succeed and it does create kind of a massive shock on the supply for Ethereum, then maybe Ethereum having some type of rally here in sometime soon, this month, October, whatever it is, could lead the market for a short period of time. And then it might be a catalyst event. It might wake up Bitcoin. Bitcoin might start shaking off, the dust and start making a move. So it's very possible. We've seen it before, right? We've seen altcoin season, and then after altcoin season, you see a Bitcoin wake up and take some moves. So it's very possible. I see all the points, and they're very, very valid points. Guys, smash the likes. Go ahead.
These guys at the Fed, the guys who were telling you a year and a half ago that inflation was transitory are now trying to act tougher than the bad guy in the Avengers movie, saying, we will crush you. We will just, that's not true, right? It's not transitory, and they can only go so far before people and economies and corporations and bond markets get wrecked. So
yeah, there's only so many words they can redefine until they have to come up with a new one that says, we're in trouble.
Right. And crypto has to look past that. But, as my colleague said, you just have to be in at the right time. You have to not get caught up in the emotion, so you can catch, I hope it's catch September, get away from November. And like I said, the Bitcoin standard, the Satoshi white paper, keep it on your desk.
Dude, awesome. What were you going to say, Magic?
Oh, I was just saying, didn't the ECB raise 75 basis points today?
Right.
Was that what I saw? I mean, that's like a huge rate. That was what was crazy to me is I was watching the speech and I was watching Powell, and he was just kind of doubling down on, hey, we're going to be firm. Our goals are our goals. And the markets were pumping, and that was kind of one of those things where I was like,
I mean, even actually ECB is so late to the game. It's like hysterical. It's like, you know what? People's energy bills over there are so high.
They're capping in UK, aren't they?
Like small businesses are going down, right? I mean, Goldman said total European energy costs will be 15% of GDP. In other words, imagine your electric bill being bigger than your car payment. That's how I would put that. And they're raising rates.
Yeah, that's
hashtag crypto.
Yeah, that it is crazy what's happening over there, and we're only seeing a small portion of what's happening in Europe, but there's other countries where I'm seeing videos coming out of where massive, uproars in the streets, right? We're seeing the whole situation with the farmers in Germany, in there was another part in the Netherlands, in Italy, and a few other countries are also still storming the streets, right? So there's a lot of different things all happening at the same
They're out of
exact
power
time.
in California too. Another country.
I would say there's very few things that motivate people to do extreme things, and food and shelter are like the basic necessities. And once you take those things out of the equation, it's like things get a little interesting,
When people have nothing to lose, it gets really crazy really quickly. So let's jump into the part where we go into an altcoin of your choice, whichever one of you guys want to go first. An altcoin of your choice that you think it's either most bullish or possibly even most bearish, an altcoin to warn people about. So it doesn't always have to be a bullish thing. It could be an altcoin that you say, hey, this altcoin is probably in trouble. So you guys pick bullish, bearish, and what altcoin you guys want to go into.
I don't want to step on anyone's toes. I don't know which one he's going to talk about. So
okay, all right. Well, I'll dive in. I've probably talked about this before, but I've already stated publicly that I'm willing to, to basically go down on this hill. So I want to talk about Zcash. Okay. Now, when this merge comes out, there are going to be winners and losers, right? You're going to see some cryptos mooning and some cryptos crashing.
Yep.
And we're about to find out, it's like an election for crypto. Some cryptos are going to be voted in office and others out. So I like Zcash. Why? Well, no one's going to do a transaction in the metaverse if you can look in your wallet, and privacy won't be for pirates. It's going to be for regular people, right? Danger Close Alpha. I don't have to tell this group.
That's right.
Right. One day, as Snowden said at Consensus, one day your wealth may be held against you. Now, I'm noticing that Zcash is in a downward sloping band, right? Now, those lines are parallel. So either Zcash is going to do one of these things, and I've seen this in crypto where, it kind of slumps and then crashes. We've seen that. Okay. But I liken this at least in legacy, like it's like holding an inflated football or soccer ball underneath the water in a pool. Once you let go, okay, the football or the basketball not only goes to the surface, but it pops out of the water. I'm betting that privacy, it could be Zcash, Secret Networks, a layer 1 that's working on that. It's not really an exciting chart. I'm thinking privacy, and I don't want to be an air hog, but you know what? I was also thinking about gold.
Right? Your screen's black right now. Are you still sharing?
Oh, sorry. No. Okay. All right. Right. I was actually looking at Pax Gold, privacy, Zcash, ETH. Now I could go into some like complete S coins if we're going to go down that track, but right, I'm more bullish on those themes. That's where I'm putting chips out for the merge.
Yeah, dude, the privacy coin is one that I've been keeping my eye on, and we've talked a lot on this channel about it. Like I've said that there's going to be some type of, kind of like a war against the privacy coins, and whether that's going to push the price up because there's going to be an instant demand because people started seeing all the regulatory regulations come in, like how they did with Tornado Cash, and they're like, wait a minute, I need to start protecting my assets and my wealth and start, it's not hiding it, but it's protecting yourself, right? There's no reason to have it public. You don't want to be walking around with your bank account, your balance on your forehead, right? In a digital metaverse, everybody just walks around and knows how much you have in your bank account. So there is no problem with privacy. And I think obviously the government doesn't think that way. They think that privacy is a terrible thing for the people, and they're going to try to take it away. So maybe that conflict will rise a huge demand for people to start putting their money into these privacy coins. So it's something I've definitely been keeping my eye on. It's a very good point. It could definitely explode, and on like no one's ever seen before, because it's real life. There's going to be real life demand, and they're going to be coming after your money. And the only way to hide it would be through these privacy coins on the blockchain. If not, it's public and they know.
Right. Danger close alpha diversification. So it's folly to think stocks, bonds, gold, and crypto, or stocks, bonds, gold, whatever, with a little bit of crypto is diversification. That's bunk. They all go up and down together. Diversification is in your cash holdings. So you got to have dollars, Swiss francs, right? You got to have privacy coins, Bitcoin, ETH. You got to have certain layer ones that could also be used as money. Like you can walk through an airport, right? You see a currency counter. You got to have a little bit of everything, I think. And that's the new danger close alpha diversification. So over to you.
I love it, dude. 100%.
I love privacy coins, honestly. I'm kind of like you guys, and I said this with Crusader last week or a week or two ago. I'm actually like super heavy into crypto in terms of how I actually hold most of my assets. And I just hedge during times like this. I just massively short a certain amount of my position to cover any drawdown, but I keep very, very little actual dollars on hand, things like that. I pay my bills. I've got rental units that I cash flow, but I'm not one of those people that's going to sit on hundreds of thousands of dollars of time and be okay with it. I just don't like the US dollar. I don't like the system that we're in. And so I do kind of default back to that. And XMR is one that I really like. I don't have a chart ready for it, but talking privacy coins, Monero is a big one. We've got some guys in the group that I don't know what they're doing with it. I'm not going to say anything about that, but they're real big into it, and they've kind of got me into it a little bit here and there. And so it is something that is definitely on the horizon, I think, where those become more and more prevalent, because privacy is a big deal with this new digital age. Because if we get programmable money, like something like China is getting, they can just turn your money off. Like digital dollar sounds good until it's there.
Until they use it against you.
Until they start using it, then it's no longer convenient. But mine is going to be Polkadot. So I'll jump into that chart. This is one that,
love it.
Yeah, this is one that I think a lot of people like, and I've been actively trading this one since the high. So this was where I originally settled up here a couple times, just selling into support and resistance till it broke down into final targets, which is all the way down here. And I'll kind of go over why I like this setup so much. So pretty bare chart, and it does have a level beneath this at 419. You can see that this is kind of just settling up. The 12M1 or your annual pivot from 2021 plus a monthly level of support right here. So if you go to the high time frames though, and you start really zooming out, you can see what you've done with this chart is you've actually come all the way back from the 2021 high, this candle, and you've swept the lows here. So we haven't closed the year. So technically you can't call it a swing failure pattern yet. However, it does give us an area to work off of or an invalidation, which in trading, that's something that I really look for. That's where you find the best trades sometimes, is just saying, oh, I have a stop loss, and we've taken all of the key lows here. So you have a monthly swing failure pattern here that is developing. So you can see that you really are grinding on support here. I'll zoom in just a little bit, but you've swept these lows 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So now you're looking to see, can I really get a rally going, and what are my targets from there? Obvious target is right up here. You've got a monthly level at 863. So that is a big, big level to look back to. Main reason being is we've talked about this before. The reason that these levels work is generally there's some trapped liquidity there. So you're going to find people that are looking to get out of positions at this area that bought. You're going to find people that are going to want to defend it because it is resistance. And then you're going to find, people that are taking profit. So you're going to find 3 levels of sellers. That's why you get reactions off these levels. Now, if you lose this box here and you start closing these monthly candles, so keep in mind this is a higher time frame chart than what you're used to seeing from me. Normally, I'm showing you guys, some, I wouldn't say they're crackhead time frames, but they're more day trading. You're looking lower. Like if you start losing these levels on a monthly basis, it's obviously going to coincide with the rest of the market more than likely. You probably are looking down to $4, and if you're in this for the long haul, you've got to be okay with buying between $6.93 down to $4.19, getting a $5 average on the coin at that point. Doesn't really sound too bad if your time horizon is long enough. However, the setup comes in on the weekly chart. So weekly chart, what have you done? You've come back to the 2 previous weeks with a weekly level of support, just like we talked about with our monthly level here. You've swept both prior lows. So you've stopped out potential traders from the previous 2 weeks into massive support. You've broken no structure. And so now all you're doing is watching your weekly open, saying, can I hold this? And can I get it back above these weekly highs right here, essentially? Start closing above these. And you could box this off even right here, I believe I already had. And you could say, all right, does it make sense for me to take along to 863? And I had a weekly level of resistance above that, even at 896. So I've already got 2 take profits, which is most important for a swing trade. You got to have a plan. You can leave some to ride if you think it's a macro position as well. But on the daily, much like what Bill was showing, you've got a local downsloping channel here, right? You can zoom into the 4-hour and see it a little bit better. And it comes right into resistance. And if you're to break this to the upside, you're then looking up for these targets. You've got a massive void here. So probably a single print if we looked at the volume, showing that there's not much resistance until we get resistance. Zoom in a little bit more. You could say, where's my range at? Just from a structural standpoint, you could localize it here, or you could just say, this is all one big dump. I want to see what's going on the higher time frames because I'm looking to play this a little bit larger. So I'd probably just use a daily for that. And you could just grab your fixed profile tool. I've got my breakdown. There you go. And it shows that you're above the point of control as long as you're holding the weekly open, as long as you're holding the range low in these levels, things are good. This is where you want to be accumulating positions. And as soon as you get the break, all you're doing is setting your alerts and taking profits at that point to the high of the range. And even though it doesn't look like a large move with altcoins, if you're buying down here and you're getting these entries, this is a 26% move. As a day trader, I don't day trade with all of my capital. That would be really, really foolish to do. So you do have to take some swing trades, and you have to find projects where you found good entries. Same with long-term positions. Like some of this is intended to be a long-term position, especially if we think Bitcoin might be putting in a macro low. It'd be, again, foolish of me to sell all of it. So, 26 or even 30% for me in over like a month or two, that's very easy money. And it's low risk. I've got well-defined areas, and it's not going to keep you up at night. There's no need for leverage. You don't want to put your capital at risk like that, especially in a market like this. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at for Polkadot. That's the setup that I'm after. I went over that one, I think the other day actually, but very simple setup. You've got a very local range here from support to resistance. If you can break resistance here, it's a very obvious trip up 20 to 30% up to these highs. So,
dude, that's great.
Oh my god!
Polkadot's one of those really, really, underrated cryptos.
Oh my god, dude! In 2021, I was running like a little research group, and we're like trying to sell the legacy media. Like Web3 is interoperability. It's Polkadot. Now someone goes, "Oh look, I'm in Web3 and I'm wearing a bunny costume," and I'm like, "What?" Right? And no one's talking about Polkadot. Right? Like Web3 is not Gen Z in bunny outfits. Gen Z, we love you. My kid is Gen Z. I got it. But people, not bunnies, Polkadot. Interoperability, right?
That's
and you look at the chart, and that's lights out, man. I'm in love.
100%. Guys, I want to say shout out to all the super chats, Crypto Billy, Michael, and Ken. Thank you. I appreciate the super chats. Greatly, greatly appreciate all the support. You guys are massive, massive supporters of the show and in the DCA Discord as well. So I always appreciate you guys showing up and representing. Guys, if you haven't smashed the likes, smash the likes. Let's go. And one last thing, guys. Plug away, right? What are you up to right now, Magic? What are you up to, Bill? Plug away. Where can people find you besides the links down below? And what are you up to right now? What is one thing you guys are working on?
Man, I'm working on revamping all of our educational material. So one of the things is we are building a website that should be launched here in probably the next week or two. Getting everything on there, but also just staying busy. Between your guys' show, getting on Talking Crypto occasionally, we do 3 live trading sessions a week. And I was just telling him before the show, sometimes those go as much as 5 hours because I won't just force a trade, but I tell them I will take a trade with you guys live so you guys can see how we execute a trade, where our stop loss goes, how we take profits. And sometimes the Asia session, which is my duty, is a little bit slow compared to like New York. But the issue is with everyone being in America, everyone's at work during the day sometimes. So trading at night is when they do it in the evening. So I will sit on there for hours. Sometimes you get a great trade right away though, which is nice. So that and just static content. I'm starting to ramp up my altcoin setups because they're pretty beat down. And the ones that I'm interested in, like Polkadot, those are the ones you'll see me actively trading here on out. Polkadot, Link, Ethereum, obviously, big one. Things like that, kind of the mainstays. Near is another one I'll be getting into, even though our group kind of already has some near nuts in there. But yeah, that's really it, man. Just trying to stay on top of everything that's already going on. It's tough with kids and life, and you know how it goes.
100%, dude. But that's amazing. That's awesome, man. How about you, Bill? What you up to?
All right. Well, Saturday is the mint for Astrobot Society. That's Token Metrics' big NFT project that combines art and a lifetime subscription to our project. So, or our website, including me. So at Astrobot Society, in terms of like what I'm into in crypto, I want art. I want art because art and stocks and art and the economy are not correlated. Okay. And I
That's a
want
good
gold.
point.
I want gold.
Gold.
You know what I'm saying? I want gold. I got this low cap gold thing on that I'm working on. I don't have enough. I'm not long
But
enough.
physical. Are you talking about physical gold, or are you just talking about trading gold?
No, I'm talking about like crypto related gold plays.
Oh,
Right.
crypto
In other
related
words,
gold.
because like, you know, legacy related items, legacy related instruments, sorry, in gold are manipulated, right? Crypto maybe less so. So if you wake up one day and the Fed has to slow down and inflation's still at 5%, historically, man, that's been gold. So I'm going, you know, Astrobots, art, and low cap gold. You know, I'll tell you what, if I find the right coins, I got one. We'll talk about it next time.
All right, dude. That sounds awesome. Guys, thank you so much for coming on the show every Thursday for T8 Thursday. So, guys, like always, smash the likes on your way out. And if no one's ever told you before, we freaking love you. And question everything, trust nothing. And until next time, hodl like it's hot. See you guys.